when we talk about universal values, it's the ones that that are like just innate to all of us. That you can't say that some people are deserving of equity. We're wired for equity. We're wired for connection, compassion, and things. And then life happens, and you kind of forget. You're kind of we're individualized in society. We're told to take care just of ourselves and our own needs. And when we start to really, become aware of what matters to us, what is it, the values that are really important to me, so integrity for myself and for others, then I have like kind of a metric or a way to measure, is that in line with am I aligned with my values, are my actions aligned with my values, in a much more like deliberate and conscious way of doing it. But it really then influences the stories that we tell. And one way that, because people can say like, oh, this is all very abstract, and how do you do this? And one thing that I was started doing with my students more than 10 years ago was, when they were trying to understand, like, how can I relate to systems change? I would ask them to just make one small change and examine it almost like an object, like, so they would say, okay, I'm just not going to eat meat for a month, or I'm going to reduce my food waste, or I'm going to do something very different. And then I would, that we'd have readings and things on looking at that, the practical, political, and personal spheres, and really an inquiry into, first, what are the logistical issues I have to deal with, and that my own habits, and then how do my friends and family respond to this, or society? What systems are in the way of me doing this, or how can I get this? And then finally, you hit your own assumptions about change, and we get people to write stories about this, almost like kind of little mini blogs. And they were so inspiring that we took this out to the public. Now we do this as something called the Sea Challenge, at Sea Change, a 30-day challenge, and it's nothing to do with just like reducing your carbon footprint, although it will help that, but it really is about how you relate to change itself. And then starting to see that, like, it's not just what I do, but it's how I talk about it with others. And with, as an experiment, when you do something that, it's like, I'm doing this for 30 days, and people will get more curious and ask. And it's those conversations that we generate with others that often provide this entry point. And you say that, oh, I can also try that myself too. And I realized that I was like, as a teacher, I was picking up on all of my students' experiments, and watering my plants and doing everything very differently. And then I realized that there is something that sticks through our stories, through our that we are connected to each other, and that entanglement is through language and stories and context and what matters to us and everything. So if I feel like that if there's anyone thing that people want to see, like, they're like, how to transform, it's really to take it as an experiment and just become aware when we're on autopilot and when we're not.